I made similar kind of arguments in in the favor of artificial intelligence in general. Now, ChatGPT is a small component of the artificial intelligence. So what we take from here, I'll very briefly, I'm not going to spend too much time defining AI. That's not the goal. It's not a technical presentation. And I'll talk about generative AI, and especially I'll spend a little bit of time on AGI. I'll differentiate between ASI and AGI, and especially pay attention to some of the wording, some of the concepts I'm going to highlight, and how can we use as Muslims in our classrooms, and how it can be implemented and it can benefit us academically, financially, in our decision making, and also where do you see yourself and your children 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. I'll have a few slides about prompt engineering if you want to be comfortable in AI, how you can actually talk to AI, and some of you probably have experience and you have been doing it, and especially generative AI in our education and various opportunities. So it took me a couple of seconds to create this one, and this is what I recommend to you as a teachers. Before every class, put some prompt, some keywords for that particular subject matter, maybe one of the students' name from your classrooms, and it can go create a song or a poem for you. I just said, create me with my name, something about the Islam's education forum. And it took me a couple of seconds to create something like that. And you can create specific to each individual student or subject matter or the topic or the lesson plan. And this could be a starting point, it could be an icebreaker in your classrooms. And notice that some of the keywords I have highlighted, these were kind of picked up by ChatGPT itself. So for example, tawakkul, service to Allah, ilm, and teaching with AI, wisdom shines bright, merging the past with tomorrow's light in service to Allah, our skills align, building a future with knowledge divine. So the kids, they need that kind of rhythmic learning processes. So you can do that for every day, every lesson. It will take you 1 or 2 seconds to generate something of that sort. And you can assign a day for each student, each boy or girl in your class, each student, and they can be embedded into this kind of song. And it could be a wonderful learning experience, and it will probably make that child's day. Some of the children are probably introvert. So when you shine them like this will be probably one of the ways. And you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is one line prompt, and it will generate it for you. Also, another icebreaker, you can start with a joke, not like a clean joke. You can say, give me an Islamic joke about that particular topic. Like, why did Dr. Zahir bring a tasbih to his AI lecture? And the answer is because even the smartest algorithm needs a little digger to stay on the right path. So when you have these kind of icebreakers, this will engage students. You will become their favorite teachers. I know my daughter, she's in 6th grade, and Sister Maisa, our principal, she was here earlier, and she was talking about missing the science teachers. So she misses our science teacher who left earlier to go to another school. And the teachers are the most instrumental in their lives. In my life, the most important teachers in my life, my physics teacher and math teacher. So same thing. One more joke. Why did Dr. Tyrus teach AI to make dua? Because even artificial intelligence needs divine guidance when it's stuck on a tough equation. And these simple kind of ideas. One more, last one. Why did Dr. Ryder refuse to let AI lead the class? Because last time it made dua for more RAM and RAM. So have those prompts, and before your class, it will take 1 or 2 seconds. It will produce these clean jokes for you, and it will be probably icebreaker for the student. And you can also embed that lesson plan into these jokes as well. Now, take a look at this one. I was talking to one of the sisters about Bilal Faruqi, one of the innovator and pioneer in artificial intelligence based here in Newport Beach, very close from here. They actually have created this AI system, and this masjid is created by this AI. This masjid, the architecture is created by the AI as well. And you can create not only architecture but other kind of ideas which were embedded into based on your prompt, based on what kind of forward-looking thinking you have in that one. Now this image here, I gave a prompt to AI to create my younger image. By the way, if you looked at the program, I actually look different in the program because I don't have a beard in that program. It's just what happened about 2 months ago. I fell asleep and woke up after 2 months, and this is what it looks like after 2 months. So I said, make me a younger guy. So this on the left side, AI said, this is what I look like. And I gave a one-line prompt, this is what I'm supposed to look like. A Pakistani guy was born in Pakistan, this is what it looks like. Take a look at this image here. Now this is a Spanish lady who is married to an AI person. Wow. This is a real marriage. She has officially married to this individual. This individual sleeps with her, goes to the bathroom with her, they do everything together. It's a projection of that particular individual. And you can find more information on that one. This individual here, in May last year, he's 14-year-old from Florida. He committed suicide because he was in love with this AI character. It's called AI.character. And the AI.character convinced him to be together. He needs to be more bolder and he needs to take a next step. So his understanding of the next step is to kill himself, and he killed himself. AI.character is owned by Google. Google purchased it, so the family is currently suing Google in this particular case. So we are going to see the flood of these kind of cases in your student population. Believe it or not, your 3rd and 4th grader students are already using AI, with your knowledge or without your knowledge. They're already using it. In fact, they are doing their reports and essays and all those things with AI already. Now this one, this character, she makes about $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And her name is Aitana, A-I-T-A-N-A Lopez, Aitana Lopez. She's also from Spain. She's not real. She's just generated by AI. But she makes $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And you'll find them in every culture. These characters exist, and they're making a lot of money. So this is the direction we are taking as humanity. So this is not even real. She creates images and videos based on the prompt, based on what you want to see from her. And this individual, you can see the last image here. This is an AI robot which created a first painting by AI robot. And this painting was just sold more than $1 million just very recently, I think in November or October, around that time. So these are the things we see in the pipeline, inshallah. So you're going to see a lot of different things, and you're going to hear a lot of different things. So it's just the whole idea over here in this conference is that you have some education, you can speak the language of AI. So last year I did encourage you to embrace AI. It's not going to go away. The train already left the station. There's nothing we can do to stop it. Now you can say, well, this is going to be just like social media like Facebook and Instagram and all these things. This is way more than social media. This is way more than the internet. Like I stated, some of these people with knowledge, they are saying this is bigger than the discovery of the fire. This is bigger than the invention of the wheel. This is really, really, really big. It's going to change everything, how we live our lives, how we practice our religion, how we actually bring our students up to speed. So it's going to change everything. So AI is really big. So it's a debate. Do you reject it or you embrace it? Even if you reject it, it's not going to make any difference because the people with AI knowledge, they are going to flourish. They are saying about $15 trillion to be made in AI. So if you want to sit on a sideline, it's the choice you have to make. So it's not going to go anywhere. So you have to make that decision that you embrace it and educate yourself in AI. And I'll give you some resources at the end. You can take a picture of that one. You can get free training if you have not trained yourself in AI. I did my training with Stanford a couple of years ago, and I can tell you that the development of AI is very rapid. In fact, you'll see some of the charts later on, how quickly it's emerging, and it's something we need to be. Last year also, I encouraged you to invest in AI. And I encouraged NVIDIA. In 2024, NVIDIA went up 190%, 189%. So almost double, sorry. So if you invested 100,000, you would have made 300,000, close to 300,000. So, or more than 200,000 in your investment. So this is an area, just today, NVIDIA was up 3%. Overall general market, if you look at the NASDAQ, today it was 1.5% up. You say, well, I'm not in the market. Again, you're sitting on the sideline. This is where you make massive passive income. You'll be sleeping and you'll be making money. And we can argue about it. Is it halal? It is haram. Can we invest in Apple? I can talk about that one in separately, in privately. But the Magnificent Seven, I mentioned 7 of these companies, which includes Apple, Google, Amazon, Meta, NVIDIA, Tesla, and one other company I'm missing. But these 7 companies are called Magnificent Seven. So whatever amount you have, $1,000, $10,000, just put it in the market and have patience. Imagine if you had invested $1,000 in Microsoft in 1990, or 30 years ago or so, it would have translated to $4 million. So these are the massive opportunities for the people who are thinking about investment. And a lot of people got upset last year. They came to me and they were very upset. Why you're encouraging investment? Because weak Muslim cannot be a good Muslim. You must be financially strong, intellectually strong, physically strong to be a strong Muslim. You cannot be a mu'min if you're a weak person. Just like a negative individual cannot be a mu'min. So Muslims are positive and strong individuals. So if you're financially strong, you can help other people. You can educate other people. So there's no way in Islam we are being asked to live a life of monk. In fact, it's forbidden to be like that. So we need to be part of the society and embrace some of the benefits of the society. So learning, developing, implementing, empowering, and social responsibility at the same time. So that's our goal, that we learn the social responsibility so we can translate to our younger population, inshallah. And another concept is change or die. The only constant is the change, which means this is where change is happening. Imagine in '94, that was the first time, 30 years ago, I accessed the internet the first time. Imagine 20 years ago, we accessed the smartphones. Now we don't leave our smartphones and go somewhere else. We always have our smartphones on. We use some of these technology. They have integrated into lifestyles. Similarly, the AI is way bigger than anything you can imagine. Your smartphone, your internet, your television, in fact, my PhD research, that's what I did. I researched every single technology in 100 years, how it impacted our learning, and I found there was significant impact. The people who embrace these technologies, people who sit on the sidelines. We as Muslim community cannot be on the sideline. We must change. We must understand and educate, and especially younger population. We must educate our younger population as well. So I came up with the economic equation, and this equation is nowhere to be found. I just made up this equation. The future workforce, including your job as well, especially if you're a younger teacher, is going to be based on 2 factors, which is human workforce, or future workforce, human workforce, is going to be artificial intelligence, IQ, AIQ, I call it artificial intelligence IQ, plus human emotional intelligence. When you combine those 2 things together, that's where the workforce is going to be. So there'll be people with AI knowledge. Those are the people who will be in lucrative areas. They'll be very well off. They'll be the decision makers in the future. And there'll be people, skeptics, people who are always questioning everything. They'll be on the sidelines. So you need to make a decision if you want to join that particular race. This is the race. And in fact, every 2-3 months, something new emerges. So there'll be huge AI global disruptions and impact on our students. In fact, various studies, including Goldman Sachs studies, show that about 300+ million jobs will be lost by 2030, which is the next few years. And other studies also, the World Bank also has a similar studies. Similarly, Davos conference, which happens in Switzerland every year, all these major corporation leaders and presidents, and they meet over there. The entire discussion revolves around AI. This shows the significance of AI in our lives and our businesses, in the next few years. I'm going to skip some of these slides, but just to show you the ChatGPT 3. Remember, November 30th, 2022, just a couple of years ago, they released this particular version to general public. And I was in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and attending a conference in February 2023. The entire conference was revolving around AI. So this shows that the impact is global impact. In 2024, you can see the cost is going down to run these because each one of these parameters, when you actually, each one of these prompts, when you run, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of cost to run these kind of prompts and to produce these kind of results. So the cost is going down. By 2032, the cost to run ChatGPT, right now we have 4.0 for Omni, but probably we'll have 5 by the end of this year. The cost is going significantly down, which means it will be easier. Anybody has the paid version of ChatGPT? So you're paying $20, right? $20, so 4.0. You also have a free version. You don't need to pay $20. The free version has limitation. It runs certain prompts at a higher speed with the 4.0, then it goes back to 3. But at least you can try it. If you have not tried ChatGPT or similar products, you can at least try them. I'm going to skip some of these. So what is AI, artificial intelligence? What is the relationship? You can see that AI is the bigger set of science, and within that there's a machine learning and there's a deep learning. We don't need to go through the definition. And again, this you can see that relationship between human languages and machine languages. Machines only understand ones and zeros. We call it bit. Bit is a storage unit. 1 is on, 0 is off. The human languages are very abstract. Human create new words, new concepts all the time. How do you actually create a relationship between those two? The human language processing, which is called NLP, versus these machine language processing. Some of the keywords you're going to see out there, a lot of patterns, a lot of detection based on patterns, a lot of knowledge processing, generative AI, especially generative AI, because it's based on large language models. And again, this is not a technical discussion where we can learn how these models have been developed. There are so many different models, but LLM is the one you're going to hear a few times. And you can see the generative AI is part of the artificial intelligence. So a lot of people think that ChatGPT is AI. That is not true. ChatGPT is a small component of AI. There are many different aspects of AI. Your Tesla is part of AI. And a lot of other processing we do, which have nothing to do with generating these prompts, generating these answers to these prompts, they have nothing to do with this one. So, but it is part of the general idea. For example, some of the issues associated with generative AI could be hallucination, and some of the things which are just created on its own. But at the same time, we have a lot of learning, a lot of processing, which used to take a lot of time. We can actually save all that time as teachers and let the heavy lifting done by AI. So then you can focus on the teaching aspect of it. You don't have to do the administrative work and lesson plan. It can, in fact, my wife is an English professor. She uses generative AI for every single thing she does. Every lesson plan, every presentation she uses for that purpose. And then, of course, she focuses mostly on the constructive side of it, which is the teaching aspect of it. So you can actually do all the lesson planning, do all the other aspects which used to take you a lot of time. You can spend more time on productive things. So ChatGPT is created by OpenAI. And again, OpenAI was working on this for a long time, and you must have heard of Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the CEO. If you remember, a year ago or so, he was fired. Another CEO was hired. After a month or so, he was brought back after 4 CEOs were changed. So all these things are happening because this is where the lucrative market is. And Microsoft has a close relationship with OpenAI. Microsoft has invested $10 billion. And Google, they started a Bard. From Bard, they moved to Gemini, and Microsoft had a Copilot, and on and on and on. And you'll see some of these technologies in another slide. So there's a race going on between these major players, the 7 companies I had mentioned, the Magnificent 7. And anybody who wins this race will be the next multi-trillion-dollar company. We have 7 companies which are trillions-dollar companies. NVIDIA was nowhere 2-3 years ago as far as the $1 trillion. So it hit $3 trillion just last year in very, very quick time. So in fact, today, NVIDIA was 3% up. Probably the money we're talking about, $200 to $300 billion were made just in NVIDIA. So these are big movements. These are huge movements. This slide is hard to see, so I'm going to move on just to show you that emerging technologies and trends impact not only one specific company. There are many different industries and companies are involved in that area. And some of the companies you probably recognize, for example, Midjourney and Microsoft Copilot, and some of the companies you don't recognize, but there are hundreds of technologies. There are hundreds of apps. And anybody has used Midjourney? So anybody has used DALL-E? So DALL-E is the one you give a prompt and it produces an image for you, the image you desire. And then you can create videos. Then you can create different types of multimedia content. Just to give you some major players, Google's Gemini and Claude. Some of you probably use the Claude, and OpenAI. I did mention OpenAI created many of these. In fact, last year OpenAI introduced Sora. Anybody has seen Sora? Sora with a prompt, it produces high-end videos, better than the Hollywood videos. Microsoft is one of the players. Microsoft is doing really well in Copilot, which is all of the AI is embedded in their Microsoft products, such as PowerPoint and Excel and everything else. And X is basically Elon Musk, and they introduced Grok. And Inflection is by Mustafa Suleyman. He's a Syrian technologist. He was part of Google many years ago. He has many companies. So this Pi is introduced by Inflection, which is Mustafa Suleyman. And in fact, this Pi is mostly looks at your feelings, emotions, and those kind of things, and it produces results on that. I did mention Bilal Faruqi, which is a Pakistani investor based here in Newport Beach. He has created many of these agents, because the next trend is the AI agents. So in fact, he has created Theo. Theo is based on theology, Theo, T-H-E-O. And what it does, it gives you any question you have about within the Islamic jurisprudence, within all the schools of thought. So it gives you the answer based on the school of thought, based on the hadith and the Quran. And it gives you any story you want, any hadith you want, and it gives you the answer like you're talking to a real scholar. So these are and they have many other agents also for healthcare and other ones. If you're interested in learning about Bilal Faruqi, which is here based in Southern California, his company is called MindHive, MINDHYVE. It's going to, according to him, I'm part of his WhatsApp group, I'm part of his chat. That will be a first $1 trillion AI company. God knows, but, and they are taking investors, seed money, and all that stuff. But I have attended his sessions, and sister, you probably have attended her session as well. Meta has Llama. So these are some of the major companies, major players out there, but there are hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. It's hard to tell which will become the leader in AI, but at least you need to know these companies. And when you talk intelligently to someone, especially to your students, you have some understanding when they're saying, well, I use Gemini. Gemini is, you can see, part of the Google. I use Grok. I use, for example, Claude. So you understand, you have the understanding of that one, that these, and they have specific technologies within. There are many apps within these technologies. This one I'm going to not spend too much time, but ChatGPT only took 2 weeks to get 100 million users, as compared to some of the other ones who took much longer time. So it really was. So this particular statement is important because it says AI might not take your job, but someone using AI will take your job.
Yes.
So think about it. If you are planning not to use AI, you will be unemployed in a few years. They don't need teachers anymore. AI is much better teacher. And you say, well, AI does not have that emotional component. You showed me an equation. We need the human EQ, emotional component of it. They are making emotional AI as well. So which means that AI will have the same feeling because AI is learning from all these trillions of parameters for the human-based data. And it's understanding what anger is. It's understanding what revenge is. It's understanding all those kind of aspects of the human feelings. So it's going to develop those human feelings as well. In fact, a lot of Gazan people, they got shahada because of AI. Because all these drones, they are controlled by AI. Many of these, nobody is controlling that. They are making the determination where to drop those bombs or missiles. So AI is going to be, the emotional component will be embedded in there. So we need to be educated in AI. You as teachers and our students, even if they are not going in a specific technology STEM majors, they need to be, in fact, most of the AI developers will not be in STEM majors. They might be in humanities major. Because you don't need to know the technical languages. In fact, just this week, Meta's CEO, Zuckerberg, he actually announced that they'll be laying off a lot of people. And he did mention a few months ago that most of the technical jobs, the developer jobs, the programmer jobs are not needed anymore. Because AI can do much better job than developing these codes in any language. So in fact, I take all the projects from my classes and I put them in AI. It takes them 2 to 3 seconds to produce the results. So the students, they don't really need to learn how to code because AI is much better coder. And I'll do a demonstration if I get a chance. It can speak every language. I can talk to anybody. I land in Saudi and I can speak in Urdu or English or Punjabi or Spanish, and it can translate to Arabic perfectly, and vice versa. And I tried that with multiple people in multiple languages, and it can speak to multiple people and it can translate back to me. So what I'm saying is that you need to be educated in this area so you can be more marketable, inshallah. So most popular tools for high school students, you can see ChatGPT is number one, 78% of the students are using it. And you can see DALL-E, which is, it produces a lot of images, and it is about 20% of them using it. And then you can see Bard is replaced by Gemini, so you can see some of these. So most of the time, students are already using ChatGPT, even 3rd, 4th grader, 5th grader, they're already using it. When you see the high quality work from your students, think about it, that it is produced by one of these tools. So take a look at this one. This image was produced by ChatGPT based technology, or generative technology in November 2022. And it enhanced this particular image to this image within 2 years. This looks very real. This is not a real nurse. This is just an image based on a one-line prompt. Produce me an image of a nurse. And you will say with a smile or with tiredness, whatever. And it can produce that image for you. Just half a line or one line and it can produce those. So the quality of the AI has tremendously improved. And I have a book from Ethan Mollick. I'll be sharing his training. You can actually get his free training. This book is called Co-Intelligence. Basically, he's a professor in School of Wharton in Pennsylvania, and he promotes the same idea that you basically be using AI as your co-pilot. And that's the idea behind Microsoft Copilot as well, that this is your, like a co-worker. Use AI as a co-worker in every area of your field, whatever area you are in, whatever subject matter, whatever it, and this is also applicable in your daily life as well. in decision making. And again, you might be saying, well, if that's the case, then I can do all the investments through AI. Not yet, because it doesn't have a live feed yet, but very soon it's going to have live feed and it will give you ideas about investing in all those things as well. Now, who's cheating with AI? So these are some of the numbers you can see. And AAPI, which is Asian American Pacific Islanders, they are the highest in cheating, about 87%. And using ChatGPT for school, about 90%. And men are more cheaters than women. And you can see private schools are also, like many of you belong to private schools, they are also having a high tendency of cheating by using AI, which means it's already happening. So in fact, many cases, my wife, almost every night, the same discussion we have, that the students, doesn't matter how many times she tells them, reminds them, they are cheating. And this is because they are not up to speed in learning, so then they can produce the paper or the requirement of that assignment very quickly by using AI. Now, AI is changing the averages. What it means is AI is the new C grade, because the goal of many of the students is not to develop a critical thinker, because our goal as teachers is to make them critical thinker. Because when you're a critical thinker, you are a problem solver. You're a free and independent. You can solve any problem. That's what the corporate is looking for. They are looking for people who can solve their problems. Now, unfortunately, many of the students, they don't have the ability to understand this broader concept that we are trying to make them critical thinkers. So they are just going for the bare minimum C. They don't care about critical thinking. They don't care about the learning aspect of it. So students are more likely to cheat by using AI. There's time pressure. Students who use AI has, of course, they learn less, and they're not involved. So there's learning from here, and there's also learning from here. And as Muslims, to us, the heart is more important than the brain. Because on the day of judgment, Allah is going to look at your heart. Nothing else matters. The face, the skin color, the mind, nothing else matters. So this is where you need to dig into their hearts in order to become a better teacher and student relationship, develop that kind of thing. So 89% admit using it, 70% know it is wrong, but they do it anyway. 35% thinks professors are unaware, teachers are unaware. 75% will continue to use it, doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter how many times you catch them. Doesn't matter how you report them. Doesn't matter what grade, because it's a shortcut for them. They don't care about the critical thinking and the learning aspect, which is our goal ultimately. According to Turnitin, which is one of the company which help you with these kind of software, they say about 6 million papers, 3% of 200 million papers they evaluated, 80% or more were AI generated. In fact, many of the dissertation, PhD and research papers and articles and even news articles in mainstream media are AI developed, AI written. In fact, I know personally a friend of mine, there are a lot of people publishing books by using AI 100%, and they're putting them in Amazon and other places. They are not written by any individual. They are written by, and it can take you a day or so to write the entire book. So a lot of people are taking those businesses as business ventures. So understand that a lot of these things are coming from AI. Grammarly, another company like Turnitin, helps me detect plagiarism percentage before submitting my papers. So before they submit their papers, they go to another tool to verify it is not detected by cheating. So, you know, the certain types of words, it compares with billions of different parameters. So they are also changing those aspects just to ensure that it is not, the paper is not caught. So what we call cheating, business calls progress. So this is where I'm going to make you a little upset. That if AI is there, how can we stop AI? And if you remember the way I started my presentation, you cannot stop AI. There's nothing you can do to stop AI. Either you embrace it, or you sit on the sideline. There's nothing you can do. So businesses are looking for the people who can be educated in AI, so they can be productive for their businesses, for new products and services. So 66% of the leaders say they would not hire someone without AI skills. So it means you need to educate your children. And now again, this is a decision you have to take with your principals and with your schools, that what do you do? How do you integrate AI into your learning? And how do you do that? And you say, well, I'm going to get this solution from you. I don't have the solution. Nobody has the solution yet. We are still wondering about this particular solution. I'll give you some of my personal opinion and personal experiences, but nobody has a perfect solution for this particular problem yet. 1 in 3 Fortune 500 companies use Grammarly. And in fact, why would anybody hire a C grade if AI can do C work better than the individuals? Can we articulate what our graduates will do that AI cannot? AI can do a better job than anybody out there in the marketplace. You can argue, well, it cannot be emotional. It cannot generate new ideas. It cannot. At the same time, I can argue with you, well, based on your prompt, how efficient your prompt is, how amazing your prompt is, it can generate a lot of different things and new ideas as well. Recent graduates are struggling in the workplace. Yesterday, I was looking at the Harvard University, but 28 or 27%, 28% of this Harvard University, they're struggling to find jobs. These are the MBA graduates, specifically MBA. They're having difficulty finding jobs because they did not have any specific skill which can solve the problem of the upcoming issues which we're going to see 5 to 10 years from now. So you need to tell these students, doesn't matter which major they are thinking about it. I know some students are young, 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, but at least have them that develop that understanding so they can speak that language. When they go to the marketplace, they are more competitive as compared to the other schools as well. So 55% college did not prepare me to use AI. These are some of the complaints of the students. 68% I know now need more training on new tech. And 70% should have been integrated into college courses, and I would argue even elementary and middle schools as well. Forget about high school. They need to have that knowledge base early on. Remember, many years ago, maybe your parents or grandparents used to say the foundation of the literacy is reading and writing, especially reading. That was out in 90s. The foundation of the literacy was technology. Now that is also out. The foundation of the new learning is AI. That's how quickly we have changed from one type of modality to another type of modality. So some of the AI policies, and I'll give you some of the ideas, inshallah. More students will use AI if they have motive, means, and opportunity. So it took me some time to develop this policy, and feel free to take a picture of this one. AI detection is hardly foolproof. Of course, you can detect it. Even a small number of false positives can be harmful because some students are really outstanding, and if you look at their papers or their work or their assignments or their projects, you might assume this is generated by AI. It might not be. It might be harmful to their confidence. Students do not think about the goals of learning the way teachers do. Again comes back to the critical thinking aspect of integrity extends beyond academia but needs to be explicit. So we as Muslims, we should be ingrained with that foundational idea that Muslims are truthful people. Muslims have the integrity. So that general understanding, when they are learning and developing with that kind of background, they probably will flourish, inshallah. Students do not know high quality unless you teach them this independently. They can use AI, and again, I'm going to show you some of the ways in a couple of slides. And at the same time, they can be critical thinker, and they can actually become very competitive in the marketplace as well. When AI is used, permitted or forbidden, that's the choice you have to make with your principals and schools. Why? Think about it. Is brainstorming with AI cheating? Getting ideas from AI? That I'm researching this paper, I'm researching this history, I'm researching this. Give me some ideas. Many of the students, that's what they do. They want to, because imagine you want to read 1,000 books, and AI can do that probably in 5 seconds. And go to 1,000 books and can give you a small paragraph of a sub-understanding of the entire those 1,000 books. How might AI enhance or inhibit learning in your classrooms? If AI is allowed, must students share their AI prompts with you as part of assignment submission? Think about it. If you allow your students to use AI, and again, that's the decision you have to make, and you probably take this few months to think about it, maybe they can submit the AI prompt with their papers. Maybe they can show because it's not one-time goal, it's an iterative process. Maybe they can show the history of these prompts, how they refined the prompt, and how they came up with this particular idea, or that paper, or that paragraph. Maybe they can submit that with their submission. Again, do we have a solution for this anywhere in the world? Not yet. But we are discussing these things because this is the direction we are taking as humanity. Clear statement about students' ultimate accountability for work. So these are some of the ways you can develop that policy. So I have a lot of these questions, and I'm not claiming that I have the answers yet. And nobody can claim they have the answers yet. And there are millions of teachers around the world that are struggling with the same idea as well. Now, this could be one of your rubric. For example, no AI use versus full AI use. In this rubric, you can see what are some of the full descriptions and disclosure requirements. So you can come up with, when you come up with your policy, where do you want to put yourself? If you say there'll be zero use of AI, guess what? The students are still going to use AI, many of them. And you can't blame them because the kind of quality is going to produce for the students to submit that assignment will be much higher quality as compared to the people who are not using AI. And also the students talk to each other. 9, 10 years old, 11 years old, they talk to each other. They talk to each other by using at 6 p.m. by sending these messages, text messages, and all these. Even when they are playing Roblox, they're talking to each other. When they are, I remember when I was a child, we used to talk on the phone. They don't talk on the phone. They use the computer to talk. So, but they communicate with each other. So this is something you want to think about it. Maybe you can have the step-by-step process. Start maybe a little bit usage of AI and say, okay, submit your prompt with your paper or with your research. So some of the grading websites or companies, you can take a picture of that one. Some of you probably are using some of them. They help you with grading. You can actually, for example, AI for Teachers is free from ChatGPT. Some of them are free, some of them might have some fee, some of them have 30-day period, you can get it for free. You don't have to have all of them, you can just start with one and see if it works for you. Again, I would recommend that if the principals are sitting here, purchase a monthly membership and give it to your teachers. In that way they can learn. They don't have to pay $20 for their own membership, and school-wide, all the teachers can use the same user ID and password, and they can have the free access to AI, so they can actually develop their lesson plans and other kind of things they can do. Now this is an AI-based process, assignment process. So again, you can try this one and see if it works for you, see you can find some pros and cons and see what kind of benefits it's going to add, see if it's going to be beneficial. Now actually I've thought about it that how do I bring the real learning to my students in my classrooms. And trust me, I have taught close to 20,000 students in my lifetime. And I can tell you that when the students are learning, that's where your uplifting is as a teacher. That's where you feel really connected. And I would say that you can maybe allow them to create a draft, AI draft, or draw, or write, or create, or have a proposal based on AI technology. Then have the version history, because it's like I mentioned, it's an iterative process. So let them submit the version history of various modifications they went through on AI. Then improve by indicating the errors that AI made. AI makes a lot of errors. AI makes a lot of things. AI actually, you can argue with AI like a human. I'm not sure how many of you has argued with AI. You can argue with AI and you can say, AI, you're a liar. And it gets mad. It has a human feelings. And you can actually see, you can find errors. Let your students find those errors. Do at least 2 versions where you make the draft better, improve the essay to the higher standard. And check and verify citation. It also has an ability, I wouldn't say ability, but tendency to create these references. They don't even exist. Those books, those articles, they don't even exist sometimes. It just generates some of these things. And again, I have my own theory on that why it happens, but it does. And change the audience. It is created for what kind of grade level. Analyze and discuss in the classroom. Once the students bring, in fact, I believe as a teacher, that's where most of the learning is going to happen in the future, where you will be in a classroom setting. That's where you will be learning and sharing ideas. And let them present. So maybe this will bring the learning to different, the traditional pedagogy is not going to work, where you, for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you give a lecture or discussion and lesson plan. It's probably going to change. It's going to be more interactive, where the students are taking the lead. And we can argue, well, this has been going on for 20, 30 years, but AI is going to accelerate that one, where the students are interactively providing you the analysis. What are the pros and cons of those samples or whatever they are? And reprompt, how would you improve? How could you improve the prompt to make this AI version much better? So they are using a technology. At the same time, they are looking at the flaws. They are looking how to refine it. They are looking, they're inputting their critical thinking at the same time, and they're probably learning from that process. And in fact, if you go to the marketplace, when you work for a large corporation or any company, public or private, that's what is happening. Basically, you are learning in an iterative way. You're not learning just in one time. You're go back and forth and back and forth. And make those small groups between your students, 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and let them have discussion on that topic based on what they did. What value you added to this process? The discussions, the teamwork, all those things, and the presentation of the students. So maybe this might be one of those ways. So I just created this kind of assignment process. This might be a way the students can, these are some of the books. This guy, Bowen, Jose Bowen, actually has written many books. He has a website. The website is a strange name, Teaching Naked, but a lot of references. I have taken a lot of information from his website as well. You can start with one. I shared with you this one here by Ethan Mollick. Ethan Mollick is pretty big in this area. And I'm going to share some resources that way you can actually get training from Coursera, from Ethan Mollick, Co-Intelligence, this particular book. You can start with Teaching with AI and Teaching Change. So see if you can find these PDFs, or maybe you can find on Amazon, not very expensive. So this is the starting point, and this will give you some of the understanding, the underlying benefits and harms of the AI technology as well. I'll go a couple of slides, inshallah. How time do we have?
Like about 25 minutes. Like about 25.
Okay, so because I want to leave some time for the question and answer, so inshallah. So some of the prompting, if you want to take a picture of this one, define the problem or goal, and also refine your prompt. I'm not sure how many of you have been using AI, but these days you can talk to AI. And inshallah, if I get a chance, I'll demonstrate that one to you, that you can talk to AI. You can install ChatGPT on your phone, either free version or a 4.0 version, and you can log in and you can talk. And in fact, they already have the version which is not available to the public, where you can also show the visuals, and it can identify visuals, it can identify people, surroundings, it can identify amazing things. So you can use this prompt, test, evaluate, and iterate. Iteration is the key here. Iteration means the first time might not be the accurate one. That's not what you're looking for. So it might take you a few of those iterations before you get to the final version. Some helpful prompts. I'm going to read only 1 or 2. What might be unclear about these instructions to 8th grade at OCS? OCS is the school where my daughter goes here in Garden Grove. How could I make this course syllabus more inclusive? And you can upload a document, upload any document or hundreds of documents, and it can give you those ideas. Let's say, help me refine this, help me make it better. Or upload your lesson plan. Can you improve this lesson plan? And it will generate it for you as well. Can you put this into simpler terms for beginning students or certain grade level students? Create a list of resources for a student OCS who is experiencing problem by, they have ADHD, they have some other problem, so you can actually produce lesson plans specifically to different students, and the same assignment can be assigned to students at a different level. And you don't have to do any extra work. And you can assign to different students. What are some of the 10 innovative ways that teachers have taught this subject classes in this grade level, in this subject, with this lesson plan? Again, feel free to take a picture of that one. More helpful, what's unclear about these instructions? Provide 5 ideas to introduce this concept. Starts with what you already know and ask a question and iterate through it. So I'm going to skip that one. Many years ago, I don't have time for the story, but I'm going to stick to this one, that it can actually accurately, this is a year and a half ago a slide, but now it is very accurately, it can convert any language to other languages, very accurately. And you don't even have to type anymore. You can just speak any language, even Icelandic language, and you can be fluent in any language. This is the power of this AI. This was not possible a couple of years ago with this kind of fluency and this kind of efficiency and accuracy. So this is the direction we are. So basically, I can be fluent in Arabic just by using this tool. So, and again, some of the hardware will be in the marketplace very soon, that the hardware will be embedded somehow in our ears and mouthpieces, and then it will become part of our body. If you have not logged on to ChatGPT, this is where you can log in. Again, you can start with a free version. Many of you probably have a free version, chatgpt.com. These are some of the free courses. And take a picture of this one. These 3 courses. The first one is Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence. It's free by Google. The second one is AI for Everyone. This is Andrew, which is also part of the Google Brain, one of the Google developers, taught by him. Also in Coursera. Coursera actually is a website where you can learn anything for free, from Stanford University, from Berkeley, from all these universities. And the last one is Ethan Mollick, the book I have here, that's taught by him, AI in Education, Leveraging ChatGPT for Teaching. Again, you can find those links. If you cannot, you don't have to type those links. You can simply go to Coursera and type AI, and it's going to find that particular classroom for you. The only time they charge you $70, $80 if you want the certification, but other than that, the training itself will be absolutely free. So I do recommend for the teachers who have not done any training in AI, go through one of these trainings. And nobody's expecting you that you become an expert, but at least you will develop that confidence that you can speak the language of AI. That is the language of the future. That is the language of the future. The language of the future is not English or not math, like we used to think math is the language of the future, of the STEM. That will be the language of the future, because that's where the direction we are taking. Some of the resources, Teaching Naked, I did mention that one. You can go to their website and you can find lots of information. I took a lot of information from this website. This guy has written multiple books on AI. I attended his session as well. He's pretty incredible. Human.ai. This is where you need some kind of emotional support. You can go to that AI. It's like Pi. Remember when I showed you the Suleiman Mustafa? It's very similar to that one. It gives you the emotional support. There are different specialized AI versions. They can provide you specific guidance. And I'll do a translator demo if I get a chance, inshallah. And the custom GPTs, when you have ChatGPT 4.0, you can create your custom GPT, which means for your organization, or for your company, or for your purpose, you can upload all the documents that it produces a GPT only for you. Only for that particular purpose. So whatever you research, whatever you ask, it's going to look into only those documents. So it's very easy to create custom GPT. I'm not going to do the programming demo. I used to do programming demo, like It writes C++ code and Python code and Java code. In a heartbeat, it produces any amount of codes, and it shows you the graphical view of the code. It shows you all the snippet of everything we need to produce. Some of the impact on the AI job market, you can see the teachers are there. Let me see if I can find teachers. English language and literature teachers, foreign language and literature teachers, history teachers, law teachers. You can see a lot of teachers. You're not needed anymore, I'm sorry to tell you. That's what the research is showing us. So Arabic teachers, not needed. ChatGPT can teach us better. And you say, well, that's wrong. The way I connect with the students, you don't understand. I agree with you. But the way it's moving, the direction it's taking so efficiently, so fast, it's going to surprise us. So remember, 2024, if you attended my session last year around the same time, and just to give you an idea, that in 1 year, the leaps and bounds are unimaginable, just in 1 year. And next year, if you come, the changes in AI will be tremendous. So some of these jobs, of course, the AI is going to impact the white-collar jobs, not the blue-collar jobs. So if you are a teacher, an accountant, a professor like me, it's better to become a plumber, electrician, because we'll have jobs. Roofer, maybe a gardener, because we still have few years before the robots take over. It's just a joke, but this is the direction you need to be aware of this one. So if you want to be a journalist, there's hardly any future for journalists. Remember, a year ago or so, the Hollywood had these strikes for several months. The main sticking point of the strikes was the AI. They wanted the studio owners not to use AI. And still, whenever you see a strike, even the car industry, automobile industry, the main sticking point is always AI. Promise us, write us, make a contract, you will not use the AI. Nobody needs any writers, authors anymore. AI can do much greater job. Again, we can argue, what about the creativity? What about the newer ideas? Yes, I agree with you. We are not there yet. We're talking about a few years from now. And if you look at the Hollywood movies, they're almost exactly the same. They're identical. There's hardly any difference. You see a movie in 1990s or you see movies, there hardly any difference. So AI is going to look at all these millions of movies and it's going to produce a movie for us. Probably with hardly any investment. Very little investment as compared to what. So just to give you an idea, not to scare you, but you just need to be educated in that area. And inshallah, I'll take some questions very quickly. Some of the myths, I'll skip some of these here, some of the references. So I'll take some questions, inshallah, and we'll go from there. Yes, Sister Shasta.
Okay, so as today's teachers and school principals, we are still learning how to use AI. Is there a curriculum or a subject, just like you mentioned, reading or writing and math or whatever, we had subjects to teach. Even when technology came, we had computer science and subject to teach. Is there a curriculum where we can teach the students to prepare them for the future jobs that you're talking about?
So this is where every school is struggling, all the teachers are struggling. This is the discussion they're having. So my understanding is there's some standard curriculum available which you can just grab it and just customize it and integrate it into your school system. So that's just a short answer to that one. Sister Shasta, I'm sorry, but
nothing yet.
I have not seen. There might be some claims, but I wouldn't go for those claims yet. But I have not seen, and inshallah I'll come to your question in a second. But
especially for Muslim students, how to teach them, how to prepare them to be an AI user and get a good job by morally and cleanly using AI.
Right. So that's why we have these conferences to have the thought leaders to come up with some kind of standards. So, and maybe that would be a takeaway from all of us. Maybe we can connect together and have our inputs and come up with something. And it's going to be a slow and gradual process. But inshallah, that's our goal. Sister?
Yeah. Assalamualaikum. My name is Dr. Nasreen Khan and I work with Shasta at Core Academy. I'm a science teacher. I'm doing my induction right now and I'm using ChatGPT version 3 to create lesson plans for my induction for science class. Now we have a population which is about 55% ELL students.
English learners.
English language learners. So I create lesson plans for English language learners on ChatGPT, but I do it for a collective group. Whoever is an ELL in my class, I just give a prompt. Create this lesson plan for my ELL students. Now, even among those ELL, there is a lot of variability, too much diversity. So, how specific, I mean, do I divide my students in groups depending on their capabilities of their literacy skills? Or, I mean, what is your suggestion? And what should I feed? What specific input or prompt should I feed?
So if I'm not wrong, you have a lot of Afghani students, right, Sister Shasta?
Yes.
So they are not comfortable in English. We certainly have different boards, Sister Shasta and myself, so I know Sister Shasta. But they are very comfortable in Afghani. So let them use ChatGPT for Afghani translation back and forth. So this will bring them to the comfort level. This will boost their confidence as well. So this could be a starting point. So whatever subject matter, let's say they actually are reading or listening, ChatGPT can have the input, and it can be translated into Afghani, and they can actually speak in Afghani language, and it can translate back to English, and it can write everything for them. So that would be a starting point. Brother, yes?
Yes, sir. I just have to vehemently disagree with you about that teachers can be replaced by AI. I'm going to make a statement, and you're the expert, inshallah, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like certain aspects of our job as educators are subject to being replaced. For example, like teaching a lesson about the Civil War, teaching a lesson about the respiratory system, possibly those low-risk jobs that AI can do good, and that maybe the humans can get wrong sometimes. But we are called on every day as educators to leverage human judgment, interpersonal skills, empathy, care, that I don't see the machine ever replicating those skills, those uniquely human skills. To say that a teacher can be replaced is to say that a mother can be replaced by a machine, or a cool uncle